It's your girl Tae Marie, and I'm back on this thing like I ain't never left. Welcome to Soul Food Podcast. What's up, y'all? What's up? I'm so excited. You guys already know this is episode 45, and today's episode is called Before the Promise. But before we dive deep into this, of course, I have an announcement. So I am having an event in September. It's called Sweetest Connections. It is a speed dating experience. And I am asking all the singles, singular, one, ain't got another. Because we ain't got time for it, baby, okay? I'm asking all the singles to please in Cleveland come on and step up with your girl. The tickets are limited, so please understand that as well. The tickets are limited. 20 guys, 20 girls, and this party is dedicated to the men for Sweetest Day. And fellas, you guys are going to be getting gifts, okay? And I'm just excited. And ladies, you are going to be there for the experience. Make some connections. Y'all ain't gonna get married or nothing afterwards, but it's just a place where people can come connect, meet like-minded people and just have fun, So if you're interested, please tap on the link below. I should have it by now. And probably by the time this come out, the tickets should be on sale. So please tap in. Let your girl know exactly. If you need to know exactly where to go to, it's on Eventbrite. But if you still need me to send you the link or whatever, please reach out. Okay? But I'm so excited about the opportunity. I'm just so excited about this. And I really hope everybody has fun, and comes there with good intention. But if you want to come there, you want to mingle, connect with people, socialize with people, please tap in. Okay, so let's get to the first question. Okay, what if you haven't received an answer because you're not prepared for what you asked God for? Okay. In relation to Before the Promise, there's plenty of things that I have prayed for. Jesus is. That was good. And that, I asked Jesus. I'm sorry. I just seen that. I asked God for, a lot of things, like success in the pursuits that I go after, or, surrounding myself and with good people, or finding said person in my life, or whatever, just having conversations with him. But this question right here does have me kind of thinking, like, I may not be prepared for certain things. Like for instance, running a business, I know with my oil business, I want to do so much with that, But of course, everything takes one step at a time. And I'm such an idealist, I'm such a visionary. I can't help to just go run after the vision that I'm seeing in my mind. But the thing is, I gotta build it. Like when I was driving around, I seen these guys building some homes, We usually see homes when they're already built up, but these guys were actually building the foundation. And it was beautiful to just sit there and kind of watch them for a minute. Because I'm like, dang, like, because I'm watching them put, cement, put the brick on there, next one, dude. Like, they were, like, just watching that was just like, wow, And it's just like, you can't treat it like Jenga type of thing. Like, you can't just build this side and then go over there and build it like this. Like, no, you gotta repeatedly do that around the whole thing. Like, it's gonna take time. You're gonna have to sometimes come the next day and do it again. Like, and prep your mind for that. So I'm just like, sometimes we do ask for stuff that we're not yet prepared for. But that's another thing. Like, just because he hasn't answered it either does not mean that it won't happen. It's just not going to happen how you think it's going to happen, or when it's going to happen, or whatever. It's going to happen when it's supposed to. Like, one thing that's popping in my mind that I thought was so beautiful was Yandy from the Love and Hip Hop show. When she was having a podcast interview with her adopted daughter, they were talking about how they were trying to get this paperwork done for so long, to the point where they were so irritated, like, because it was taking so long, and they kept trying. And the girl was getting so discouraged, like, oh my God. In the midst of them going through it in court, somebody, I feel like the judge or somebody said, like, we still don't have the paperwork. And Yandy said, and literally in that moment of time, somebody ran into the courtroom and handed her the paper. And she finally could adopt her daughter. I think her name is Infinity, something like that. And Infinity started crying because she was like, I was so scared. Like, but truly, like, it made me cry too, because it's just like listening to her story and what she's been through. Like, God made you wait for that, because when he finally showed up for you, you felt amazing. It wasn't just like a situation where it's like, thank you, God. Like he just bibbity boppity boo running up. Like, no, he took her through some things just to show up when the time was really needed, when she wasn't even expecting it. Just so, like it always says, so God can get the glory. And that was nothing but God. Because, you see, whomever got that paper, thank God that they were standing where they were standing. Thank God that they didn't stop for coffee, go to the bathroom. Thank God that they didn't let distractions stop them. He put it in whoever that person was and said, take this paper and go to the courtroom. Literally in the nick of time of them on the topic. Maybe if she was a tad bit late, they would have probably moved on, and she probably would have came up with a decision or something, and it would have never happened. But no, you got to truly just wait. And it's hard to wait, but sometimes it's just like, that's all you can do. That's all you can do, is just wait. And logically, you can't rush into the result without becoming responsible for what the results require. The one thing that just popped in my head was this video I seen with this girl that finally got proposed to. And she was like, what'd she say? She was like, they told me not to do his dishes, but I didn't listen. They told me not to do this for him, but I ain't listen. And I don't know who I was with. Somebody said something, because I just heard them in my ear. saying like, okay, but that don't mean that dishes and laundry and all that stuff is gonna get you the man. It's not gonna get you the man. And also, that's not what she's saying. I mean, I don't know what she's saying. She could be saying what you're trying to get at. But how I'm taking it, that's not really what she's saying. It's just like, you know, sometimes people, when it comes to love, sometimes people are very pessimistic, and it's so unattractive, because it's just like Cat Williams said, how he was like, girls be like, he ain't ish. No, yo ussy ain't ish. And you keep on trying to blame people for your self-esteem. It's called self-esteem. That's your decision. All the things that I chose, the men that I chose, the path that I went, that was my decision. You know what I'm saying? Nobody held a gun to me and said, choose him. So it's just like, wherever you put your heart at, that was on you. That was not on nobody else. So you cannot sit there and blame love when you were the one that put your feelings and your time and you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, with her doing all that for that man, and him finally being like, you know what, this is it for me. This is the woman for me. He probably gave her that ring because even though people told her not to, she still loved him enough to go through it. She still had faith, you know, and like, I'm sorry, they keep just popping in my brain, but it's just like, somebody else said, sometimes it's not about being loyal in a relationship. Be loyal. But it's also about being faithful, being full of faith in that relationship. You know, knowing that things are going to be bad. The sun ain't always going to shine. You going to have thunderstorms, rain clouds. Y'all going to go through it sometimes. But if you have faith that y'all going to work through it, that's all you need. That's all you need. People aren't perfect, you know. But you also gotta have faith that, you know, we love each other and things are just gonna come together. And we gotta have faith that we can work through this bump in the road, you know, and that when we finally talk about it, it's not gonna happen again. And that all depends on if that person is serious about the relationship. Now, I'm not saying be faithful to the person that's cheating on you. You tell them, oh, baby, I don't like when you cheat on me. Baby, I don't like the fact that when we out to dinner, you be flirting with the with the waitress. I don't like that you compare me. I don't like that you don't follow me on Instagram. I don't know, like, you know, like that relationship is just like, obviously that's not where you're supposed to be. That's not where you even supposed to be. That sounds like you rushed into something and you're begging for results that somebody's not trying to give you. You know, because I've noticed while I've been in solitude in my past relationships, I feel like I was faithful in situations, especially when I felt like maybe I should go, but I wanna show him that I'm here. I want to show him that I'm here, that I care. But also confusing faithfulness with loyalty, because I'm still being loyal while old boy dogging me. Obviously, like, you doing you for real. You don't care about me. You doing you. But it's just like, that's why, you know, I'm not jumping right out of things. Like, most of my trial relationships go on for at least 3 years. From what I noticed, 3 years is the trial. Once we hit 3 years and it ain't really going nowhere, that's when you really do need to start thinking about stuff. You know, some people are in relationships and they've been in there for 10 years. I just watched, what is that called? The Conversation. I don't know. You know, that group of people that, Tonight's Conversation or something like that. This girl was just on there and she said that she was pregnant with her third baby with her dude. They've been together for like 12 years, 14 years, something like that. You know, and she was just like, you know, no, she said 12 years. She said it's been 12 years. He still hasn't proposed. He still hasn't done this, but I'm carrying our third baby. And I wanted to tell her flat out, but my sis said it perfectly. You feel me? She said it perfectly. You know, what you said is that you don't want no extra baby daddies. You know, you dealing with this man and in hopes that he finally says, you know what, you did all this for me, baby. I'm about to finally put this ring on your finger. You feel me? But see, just because he didn't tore the club up in there, that don't mean that that don't mean nothing. And I really want to put this out here. We gotta stop having these babies without real commitment. Cause this girl got 3 daughters. And the girl said it's so good, so good. She's like, cause the lady was like, he treat my daughters like princesses, you know. But the thing is, sis, you want to be treated like a princess too, don't you? You see him doing that to your daughters. See, that's how jealousy between the mom and the daughter dynamic be coming through. You know, what you be wanting him to do with you see him do with his daughter, your daughter, and you think to yourself like, oh, that's so sweet how he treats her and how he loves on her and how he's like, you know what I'm saying? I apologize. My baby just called me in the midst of that. But let me think back what I was just saying. Oh, okay, yeah. So her even saying that is just like, you like it because a part of you kind of wants to be treated like that from him too. But those are his daughters. Those girls are a part of him. Of course he's going to treat them like that. You know, he sees himself in them. You can't compare your man, how he feels about you, and then compare it to what he does with your daughters. Because like the girl on the stage told her, like, I was in a family where my parents were together for years, you know what I'm saying? And my dad treated us like princesses too. Very much so. But he didn't treat my mama like that. And in result, she said all of her sisters are not in the best relationships right now because forget how he treated them. How is he treating you? And what your daughters see is that my daddy made 3 babies with my mom, but never married her. That's what your daughters are going to see. And in that, they're also going to see how you react to it. So it's just like you thinking that, oh, this, that, and the third. Nah, he can go do that with anybody for real. He can go make a baby with anybody. That does not stop nothing. He can be fruitful and multiply with anybody. But it's about, is he really about you? And that's what we need to ask ourselves. Is he about you? And let me put this out here, you know, for the people that don't believe in love and feel like it's never gonna happen for them, or even feel like they gotta go find their man and do all of that to get results, rush results. Like I always tell you guys, what is for you is for you. Okay? I think to myself all the time, like, yeah, you know, I can go on these dates and sit with these guys and, you know what I'm saying, like, see how things are going and da, da, da. But I'm not in the mood to really rush right now, you know, because regardless, God's going to bring him. I don't have to really go search, because when God is ready to bring said person into my life, the person that he believes that I'm supposed to be with, it's just going to happen. I don't have to go find him because I don't know who this person is. I don't know who God has for me. And some people might be thinking like, how do I even trust that? You just do you. You know, like when I read the Book of Ruth, I had to read it again because I wanted to understand. I wanted to understand what that even felt like, what that even looked like. I wanted to get it. Okay? In the Book of Ruth, she was already with this man. He wasn't it. He wasn't it at all. You know, she ended up, you know, moving with her mother-in-law, and they both were don't quote me on it. I know I'm gonna mess it all up, but pretty much like Ruth was just pretty much doing her, helping out, and preparing. When she met Boaz, you know, they worked together. They were friends. They were in the same field together, you know? And eventually they got close and, you know, whatever. It wasn't no rush. She ain't, I don't even know. Like, her and Boaz was just placed in the same place. She asked Naomi about it. She told her about Boaz. And from there, she just continued working. She continued to do what she did and got instructions from God. And eventually, he got instruction as well to do what he needed to do, to one day become her redeemer. So it's just like, from there, I just took it as this, like, you don't have to worry about searching for it. If you truly believe and have faith that God is already going to bring it to you. If you don't believe that, let me tell you where you about to head. You about to be meeting somebody that's not aligned with you. Maybe not even meant to be there. Slow you down. Slow down your process. But one thing I know for a fact, I believe deep down in my heart, even if you do go rush into something else today and realize, I don't know, next year that it was never for you, that still don't stop what God got for you. You just was delaying it because you wasn't listening. You were doing what you wanted to do, but you wasn't obedient to him. God could be telling you, hey, I want you to sit down and focus on yourself. And you still going out there, having sex, going to the club, doing you, this, that, and the third. Then got into a relationship with some random, because what? Because he cute? Because she cute? You done fell in love with the sex? I don't know. And now you in some dynamic now. While you not even realizing what's going on. You so clouded in this when you don't even see clearly the opportunity for you to connect with the people that you're supposed to be aligned with. So that's what I'm saying with that. Empathetically, If you've ever felt frustrated because you thought you were ready and God still hasn't allowed something to happen, I understand. Waiting can feel like rejection. It may actually, when it may actually be preparation, you know? Like I said, you know, I went on a date and this guy was, we was having a good conversation. It was cool, you know, whatever. And, you know, he asked me to, like, what you waiting for? And, you know, this, that, and the third. And I just basically told him, like, you know, I'm really not even trying to, like, force anything. Like, I really want to just go with the flow and see where things go or whatever. And he's just like, you know, I definitely understand that. And he straight up brought up, like, you can trust me and da-da-da-da-da. But it's not about trusting you. That's how I already know, like, we not seeing eye to eye because you ain't hearing me. You know, I'm waiting for whatever the possibility could be. Like, you know, it's not about trusting you because I can't trust you. You could say that today and want something different tomorrow. And nothing's wrong with that. But it's just like, I can't put my feelings into that. I can't put my faith into that. You know, I can't. I will have to truly just continue to be obedient to what I know. Right now, what I know, even though I know that I'm supposed to be focused on myself and I'm supposed to be building and doing me, like, I truly believe that God wants me to build for myself. And while I'm building, that person is going to come. Like, I already know that. Because that was the thoughts on my ride home after the date. Like, but even listening to him, it's just like, you know, when he heard me say go with the flow, I feel like he's just like, oh, okay, she down for whatever. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm going with the flow of just where God is pushing me. You know, maybe you could be that person in my life, you know. But at the same time, I don't think so, because I don't really think that we're at the same place, you know. And even before I even got asked on the date, I already knew this was a situation where it was like preparation, you know. It was preparing me, first of all, before it even happened, it was preparing me to get out of the space of feeling like, I don't want to say courting, because he wasn't courting me, but it put me in a space where if man finally was just like, Taylor, you seem like an interesting girl, I would love to take you out. Like, oh, okay, that's nice. Like, okay, take me out. Like, take me out, baby. And, you know, just preparing, even talking to my older cousin, helping me out, like, what do I do? But, you know, even still, when we talked about it, she even told me, like, you know, when you go there, you need to be asking questions. You need to get down to the nitty gritty. You need to understand what this man even wants from you. Like, is he trying to honestly court you, or is this like he's taking you to dinner? And I'm like, I get what you're saying, yeah, but I don't know. And it did, and I did come there with the questions and all this other stuff, and I did feel like I was not overloading him, but it was just like, I don't know. I don't go on dates like that. So I don't know if he was just like staring at me like that because he was thinking like, dang, like this girl's serious. Like, but it's just like, come on, we're 30. Like, When you want me to be serious? When I'm 80? When I'm 80? Like, no. Like, I still have life going on. There's still things that I know that God has for me. But to get there, I have to be prepared, Impatience and the need for external validation can cloud our ability to hear God's voice clearly. Before the promise, Abram left Ur, traveled to Haran. If I said it wrong, I apologize. Traveled to Canaan and reside in Egypt. He rescued his nephew Lot and fathered Ishmael with Hagar. Sarai endured barrenness and was present as Abram's sister and gave Hagar to Abram to have a child. Before the promise, both of them faced personal trials. Okay, so before I made this, during the time that I made this episode, I kept hearing in my mind, like, you need to Google what happened to Abram and Sarai before the promise of Isaac and their covenant. And that's what I just read. And they did go through a lot of things together, They went through a lot. But they always remained close. And even with that story again, that takes me back to just saying like all that. I don't even like that word when I be hearing people say destiny swapping, because I hear that a lot, especially with the Aaliyah and Beyonce dynamic. If y'all know, the message with that, then y'all know. No, I'ma still say it because I don't care. But we all know that Aaliyah was killed in that plane crash. Now, all that other stuff, look, I ain't got time, We done heard the conspiracy about it, and some of it is coming out. Even with Jaguar talking about it, like, it makes sense. It makes sense. But a lot of people say that Beyonce destiny swapped with Aaliyah, but I don't believe that. Aaliyah's been gone since 2001, and she's still alive to this day. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people love Beyonce because Beyonce is still pursuing and doing her part. But we cannot really say what life would be if Aaliyah was still here. And we would not know where life would be if she was still here. If we could win tickets to go see her in concert, we don't know what life would be like. So I can't sit here and say that they swapped destinies, because if that was the case, nobody would know who baby girl was. Nobody would know her. But people know her. People know her music. People still play her music. People still talk about it. With the R. Kelly thing, people are concerned about what was going on, even though they should have been concerned when she was alive. But in that example right there, you cannot swap nothing with nobody. Like I told y'all one time in my vlog, God already knew you before you was in your mother's womb. Like, I love that. Because it's like he already knew what he had for you, what you was going to come down here and do. He already knew your story. So for anybody to feel like, oh, well, if I do this, it will stop this person. You can't stop nobody's promise, especially when it comes from God. It can be delayed, but it was never stopped. Even if the lady that was gonna bring that paper for Yandy and Infinity, even if she did stop to use the bathroom, even if she did get distracted or held up, something was gonna be found. Maybe it would have popped up in the computer. Maybe they could have said something like, "Judge, please, we keep on coming here. Is there any way that you can see it in your computer?" And maybe that would have touched the judge's heart, and she would probably search for it. And she found it herself. Like, oh, it's right here. It don't matter if it was supposed to happen today, tomorrow, or whatever. It could be delayed right now. You know? I'm not going to tell you guys what the prophet told me, but I got prophesied in our revival. It was kind of scary because it was like what he told me was kind of like it was like, dang, because the whole time at our revival, I ain't even gonna lie, I watched everybody get the Holy Ghost and everything. Like even my friend got the Holy Ghost. Like I'm like, man, like this is crazy. This is crazy. Like not crazy and like this is, but it was crazy to just see what I seen in that revival. Like, oh, it was so good, y'all. It was so needed. But when he finally came to me, he was telling me, like, God told me that you've been wanting me to say something to you since Monday. And I was like, yeah. And he basically was telling me, like, I've been holding on to this message because of this. And that's when he told me everything. And the only thing I could take from that is, like, either I got to be patient or I could give up faith. But if I give up faith, it could literally happen tomorrow. And I'm so clouded now, I don't even see it. You know? Like with Sarah's situation. You know? It makes me so mad that Sarai did that. It really do. Like, I can't pinpoint where, but it was just like when the angel said that to Abram and Sarah heard him, or Sarai, you know, like, it was just crazy to me how she doubted it. But we all doubt it. We all doubt what's going on or whatever. You know, that's our first thing. Because we're thinking like, how? How is that about to happen? But you never know how things are going to happen. You know? You never know. You just got to have faith that it will. Like, nobody told her to tell Abram to go have relations with Hagar. Nobody told her to do that. He ain't even say nothing about Hagar. He ain't say her name, nothing. He ain't say nothing like that. But you assume like, oh, well, the only way you gonna have a child is with somebody that actually can give you one. Going back to the woman with 3 kids. But see, like, because I think he wanted that though. I don't know. But even if he did want it, so what? Like, anybody can do that. But it was, the thing about it was, God sent that angel to let them know, to give them hope. Give them hope that it will actually happen. You just got to hold on. You got to get prepared. You know, if she had a little bit of faith, she could have started preparing. Like those mothers. I done seen people like that. those women that decorate a baby's room. Like full-blown decorating it. I knew a lady like that. And that's because she wanted to be a mom. This is an older lady. Not older. She's older than me, though. She wanted to be a mom very bad. When she finally got her own house, she painted the room. And once that was done and stuff like that, eventually she got her boyfriend to build up the bed. And he thought she was crazy, for real, for real. But he still did it because he loved her that much to be in her delusion with her. And eventually they got together and all that. And she had her baby. And the thing is, especially why people used to think she was delusional, because she kept having miscarriages and stuff. And, you know, some people was telling her, like, maybe, like, you know, maybe you can't hold a baby or something. But she was just like, no, I know I'm going to have a kid. Like, you know, maybe it wasn't the time or whatever. And who knows, like, it could have been a situation, too, where God just knew this is not who I want you to make this promise with. This is not it. You know. And it's sad to say, because people go through stuff and people do lose hope, especially if they go through a miscarriage more than once. But I also seen, like, those same people get with somebody else and they got 2 babies, 3 babies. Like, you know, sometimes it just may be that. Maybe God wanted her to focus on herself. She did. And she was just like, I know I'm going to have a family. And what she do, she went in there, she painted the room. She put clothes in there. She was full blown in, I'm not going to say delusion. She was in faith, for real. Even to the point where her friend that became her boyfriend, and eventually he made her his fiance and they got married. But before even that, when they were in a relationship, she was like, I got this baby's bed downstairs and I want you to build it for me. And I remember her telling me, like, he was thinking that she was fried. Like, baby's bed? Like, you pregnant? She's like, no. But I do have a room upstairs that I got set up and I need you to put it up. And she told me showed him the room, and he was kind of like, what? But at the same time, eventually he built the bed for her. And maybe he needed the time to think about it, like, you know, because if you actually met this person, she's that type of person. She's so happy. But it's just like, yeah. You kind of just, you would just, I don't know, she makes it easy for you to see things too a certain way, like, you know. But I just feel like even when you're going through the bad, you still gotta have hope that good is gonna come too, you know. Waiting causes impatience, rejection, self-doubt. However, you may be needing healing, discipline, and maturity. I was talking to my son, and we kind of got on the subject on some things. But I told my baby, like, when you get older, I want you to focus on yourself. I don't want you to be worrying about, even though you're going to probably meet people that you're going to like, and, you know, eventually you're going to want to date them or how have you, whatever. But I don't want you to focus too much on that. Like, I want you to travel, you know. I want you to meet friends from different places, make connections like that, you know. Because one thing that I'm happy that I finally did for myself is take the time out to heal, you know. I've been watching the Spiritual Whistleblower. She's a New York lady. And I first seen her on some podcast. And she was reading people. I'm like, oh my God. But the thing she was saying was lightweight, kind of like... But just even listening to her content, and I'm not saying that most women are, but some women can be a little bit on the pick-me side, you know, will put you down or do weird stuff to get the next person attention, you know. And that's because whatever it is, she feel like I wasn't chosen in my last relationship, or I wasn't chosen, I don't get the attention that I want, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, honestly. I don't know why people thrive over that type of stuff, but it's like, you know, choosing myself after going through a lot has taught me discipline. And the discipline is pretty much like, okay, to heal myself, I cannot have sex with anybody. Why? Because, for one, I don't need to give my body to anybody. I don't need to give my body to anybody. I don't need to get up under the next dude to feel validated. I don't need to do any of that stuff. I need to be disciplined and know exactly what I want. But you will never know what you want if you don't take the time out to get to know yourself. If you waiting for the next dude, or, you know, like we used to do back in the day, get dressed up and go out and, you know, get flirted with or whatever. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with mingling. You can mingle. But to actually get chose by a random person versus choosing yourself, I feel like that's where the maturity needs to be taken accounted. You know? Because we done already seen how things go. Whether it's in your family, we see it in movies, whatever. You know how these things go. And the last thing we need is to start up new things, new cycles, just to put us back in the same place, you know? Especially after we get out of situations that we're not yet healed from. I remember I stopped messing with one of my, you know, little yeah-yeahs. And I ended up meeting guys that kind of was like him, you know? Not on purpose, but it just happened that way. Like, I met a guy that looked like him. I met a guy that his birthday was around his birthday. Like, you know? I met a guy that maybe has done the same things he's done. Like, maybe he plays video games all day, or he's this or that or whatever. And that's because you still kind of are looking for that. You looking for that. when you should be understanding why you are even attracted to that subconsciously. Like, you're just like, because why, like, you need to just sit there and think, like, why am I attracting the same thing that I left? I don't know. But, ignoring, because, like, ignoring it is more like, well, this person isn't this person. You're right. But there's tendencies about this person that kind of trigger you into thinking about the last person. And that is where it's like, Negative thoughts can lead to impulsive decisions. And let me see a negative thought. Like what I said earlier, like, I done heard women say, like, oh, I'll never get married because, whatever. You don't know that. Your life is not even over yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know who you gonna meet. You shouldn't be giving up on love that easily because of one heartbreak. And don't let me sound heartless, because I done been through heartbreak. I done been through situations where I'm like, dang, like, I really loved you, and you did this. Like, you're crazy. But it's like, if you believe that just because of this little moment of time right now, no, you would never. You will never meet the person you're supposed to meet, because as soon as they come, your attitude is going to be messed up. They're not going to want to talk to you. Spiritually, God says to obey his word, because it reveals his authority and his instructions as binding rather than suggestion. And when I was doing, when I was looking up different words, binding, hold on. I know it's supposed to be like securely mending something together. So, like, because I'm thinking, like, binding. Well, in this moment, it says his instructions, revealing his authority and his instructions as binding rather than suggesting. So, like, when God sent that angel to tell Abram, like, you gonna have all of this. This is gonna be as much as many generations. And then when he came back and Sarai heard him, he told him, y'all gonna have a baby. Y'all are gonna be binded together. I am approving this covenant. Like, whatever. It's just like, he didn't send the angels to suggest it. He ain't say, like, would you want to be stuck with, or not stuck with, would you want God to bind you and Sarai together? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know, dude. I feel like I'm getting lost, but I'm just like, I'm really sitting here thinking how I could really say this, but, like, yeah, like, it's not a suggestion. It truly, like, he would have never sent that angel down if God didn't know or have his mind made up about this situation. Like, he's letting you know real time, like, this is gonna happen. But since Sarah was impatient and lacking faith, she suggested that Abram go ahead and get with Hagar. But, that's not what was said. And now it puts them in a situation where somebody else is a part of their unit. Let's get off of them for a minute, because I really feel like I need the book to really talk about it, because I want to pinpoint things, but I don't obviously have the book to really do that. So let me tell you guys what I recently told one of my family members. That kind of like aligns with this. So I told her basically, like, when it comes to relationships, I really feel like if you're not in one to be serious, then you really should just be single. Like, and that's just real, because me taking my time to actually be single and not really worry about anybody else, it has been helpful. The time that I've been spending with myself has taught me a lot. It has brought me a new perspective where now I can finally say I love myself. I love what I do. I love my quality time. I feel peaceful. And in order for me to get out of this position, somebody would have to add on to it. And no, I'm not talking about financially, but just like, period. Like somebody that's truly aligned with what I'm doing, and they're also doing it as well. Like I told you, I believe that God has me in the position where he wants me to focus on him. He wants me to be working, stacking up my bread. He wants me to prepare myself for the future endeavors that I have for myself. He wants me to build my life, because for one, God knows who I am. I am the type of person that is when I was in relationships, I lost myself a lot because I always wanted to be there for my partner. But in the same breath, I never made time for me. And I'm not going to sit here and say like, a little bit I can lose my mind or lose myself in a relationship. But my biggest thing is quality time. So, besides going to work and doing this, that, and the third, after work and stuff, I usually would want to be cozied up with my partner. I wanted to ask them about their day. I want to check on their mental. I want to see them. I want to eat with them. I want to watch TV, go out, do something. That's very important to me, bonding with people. But if you don't take the time to really figure out like, okay, besides cuddling with my person, besides doing our regular, our sexy time, whatever, I need to take this time as a single person and truly understand what I'm supposed to be doing, how I'm supposed to be preparing my life before God does bring that person in. And reading this so far, I truly don't think he's going to bring that person in until you are truly prepared for them to come into your life. Because a relationship requires a lot of stuff. Are you prepared to be in a relationship with somebody? Are you prepared to care about somebody else's feelings? Are you prepared to stand up and defend your relationship from pessimistic people that don't have it? Are you prepared for men or women to try to interfere in your relationship? Are you ready to truly give somebody your trust and let them walk out the door and enjoy their day while you're maybe at home or got to go to work? Are you truly prepared for that? Because it's a lot. As a single person, I don't have to really worry about somebody cheating on me or somebody feeling like they got a woman to woman me or whatever. Like, I'm in a place of peace where I just have to worry about myself and what I want to build for myself, for my own future, you know. And when it's time and God presents that person, you know, it's going to feel better, because then it's going to be like you have your own thing, they have theirs, and then you guys can come together. You know, you guys will know exactly where to fit yourself. Especially when you're building something, it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of energy. And, you know, you could come home later that day and your partner there and may want some sexy time, and you're going to be like, ugh, I don't feel like it today. And they might get frustrated, like, dang, you ain't felt like doing it all week. Like, what's up with you? But you're building in the midst of also, you're supposed to be catering to this person. But, and then that's when things get clouded, like, well, maybe I should put this on pause because I don't want my partner to not feel like I don't care or this, that, and the third. It doesn't matter. I mean, in that moment, yeah, that's how things happen. But you about to stop your life to please the next. Who's going to please you? If you really love somebody, you really do got to let them grow and do what they're supposed to do. Just like when I told you guys before of, I feel like everybody deserves a phase where they do them. I truly believe that. I believe that everybody should have a phase when they're just doing them. Because once you get all of that out your system and you're in the position to actually care about somebody else, you won't be triggered. You won't feel like, oh, I'm missing something out there. Like, no, you don't. I mean, no, you're not. What you want is right here, because you going out there, playing the field, seeing what's out there, really dissecting things, saying like, I like this, but I don't like that. I enjoy this, but I don't enjoy that. I like this food, but only made like this. Like, you're learning yourself, you're understanding. So when, you know, you're in that solitude and then you finally meet a person that kind of lines up, you can take your time with it and now understand, like, okay, check, like, this is cool for me. I don't know if I like that, but I'm willing to accept it because of this. Check. Like, you know, it's like I said, people aren't perfect, but you know, if you're willing and still who they are lines up with you, I see no problem with it. Truth is, alignment means your choices, relationships, priorities, and behavior are moving in the same direction as the person you're becoming. And exactly what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? If you want a husband, or matter of fact, this is about you. You can't force nobody to be no husband. But, you know, men, take this in how you can. But if you want to be a wife, for one, a wife is a big job, you know. Like, thinking back to my aunt and uncle when they were alive. My mom, love you, boo. My auntie, every day every weekend when I would go over her house when I would want to spend the night over there, my auntie would get up every morning at 5 a.m. She'll get her coffee, she'll start breakfast, and by the time I wake up and get down there, share some coffee with her, you know, have some bonding time with her, eventually my uncle would come downstairs. She would already have his newspaper right there. Hands down, no talk, I miss him. He was so cool. But my uncle would come downstairs with his do-rag on. And my auntie would already have his paper laid out. She would always put his cup out. By the time he could come downstairs, his ice would be melted a little bit. That's all he used to really drink, was the water that melted from the ice, and he'll eat the ice. And then she'll give him a boiled egg and some tomatoes. Every day. It was always, like, every time for breakfast, it was always laid out for him. From when I was a little 3-year-old kid up until I seen them pass away. That was her one too. You know? And then, you know, and the quality time they spent with each other. My auntie is kind of like me. Like, very simple lady. My uncle has a bit of expensive taste. So he would do things for my auntie. He would buy her gifts, or, you know, nice jackets, or take her to the plays, or they'll go to church together and watch the plays there. You know, they'll do things together, have quality time with one another. And they started from the bottom to the point where they had their house built. And my auntie held it down while he went to nursing school. You know, like, they learned how to work with each other after being friends for so long. And eventually that friendship turned into love, and, you know, they were a beautiful couple. I enjoyed seeing their relationship because of their story. And then even when my auntie passed before my uncle, I went to go visit him on their anniversary. It was like, I'm hearing like their 5th anniversary since she died. And he was telling me, like, you know, Taylor, you really don't appreciate something until it's gone. And he was saying that it's not that he didn't appreciate my auntie, but, you know, life goes on. And the fact that it's been 5 years since your auntie passed, it don't even feel like that, especially sitting here on our anniversary. And, you know, he was just sharing with me, like, it's so weird with her not being here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, just watching their love, and then watching his love for her even when she was gone. You could tell, like, it's a lot. But you gotta also understand, like, you gotta make sure that you are prepared for these things in your life. Watching them and them being on the same page and them achieving a lot of stuff in their life, it turned into a beautiful result, because this is important, because the wrong relationship can take your attention away from your assignment. You know, my auntie holding him down while he was in nursing school, he got a lot of opportunities in life, you know. And I don't know. I don't think I was born while he was going through school, but I know, seeing my uncle as a nurse, he was very happy in that moment of his moment of time. He loved his job. He loved his position. And I feel like he appreciated my aunt for being there for him, you know, instead of like making him feel bad because he wanted to get himself together and get himself right. But I also think that's when they were friends. I think that's the point in time where they were like getting close and probably like building the blocks towards their relationship. And when you're secure within yourself and in your life, you know, you could be there for somebody, you know, like they always say, like, you should be able to pay for your own nails and buy your own clothes and do for you before the man comes into your life and you expect him to do it. Because he is going to look at you like, well, what was you doing before you started asking me to do that? Because literally, if he leaves tomorrow, you going to go back to not having that stuff. So what is he really there for? He's there as your extra wallet. He's not there because you care about him. You know, in that moment of time, I think that while they were trying to build, that kind of was, I'm going to say, more of a delay. It was a delay to what they was building. But my auntie is big on faith. And she knew eventually it would get there. And it did. Like, they still got out the hood and moved to a nicer neighborhood where their house was built for them. Lived a very successful life. Introduced my cousin to a lot of successful people. Even me even being there, I also got to meet people that they knew to line me up, that I still know those people till this day, you know. This also matters because the wrong friendships can normalize behaviors that you want to eliminate yourself, right? Like, let's say this. I was recently at the club or whatever because my people wanted to go out. We ended up meeting some people up there, and, you know, this guy was trying to talk to me. And, you know, me, I'm not the type of person that, especially when I first meet you, I'm not about to be on you. You know what I'm saying? We're at the club. He expected me to be on him, rubbing him. He was trying to grab my hand. You know, the little grab, and then he twirl you around like he ready for you to dance on him or something. And I stopped. I ain't even, you know, and he went to my people like, what's up with your friend? Like, she acting funny. And, you know, they came up to me like, you good? You cool? I was like, oh, I'm chilling. The hell? Like, I'm chilling. What you mean? It was like, oh, you know, some of them felt like you was being uptight. I'm not being uptight. What I am doing, I'm vibing. But I can't help that this person wants me to act a certain way around him. I can't help that he probably want me to be up on him, in his skin. I don't know him, though. I don't know him. You know. And I had to explain to them, like, even though it's not said out loud, I know what atmosphere I'm in. I know what type of atmosphere. I know what goes down here. I've been here before. You know, not saying that I was in the club doing that type of stuff, but of course, we down here. It's a little bit more intimate versus upstairs. You know, the lights is dim. Of course, I know what he want. He want me to dance on him, but I don't know him like that. Nor am I trying to get anybody hyped up to think that it's about to go somewhere after this. You know, if you can't handle me just chilling and stroking your ego or whatever you want me to do, because a lot of people was coming up to me and they all wanted me to pick or be up on them or something. I don't know. It was weird. But my thing is like, I told them like, hey, if you can't handle the fact that I'm not that type of woman to just be in a dude face, I'm not the type to just be, you know, whatever. I can't hang out with you because it sounds like already you trying to tear me apart because of what he said. I don't even know who he is, nor do I care what he's talking about. I don't care that I ain't giving him attention and he over here saying I'm uptight. No, I'm not fast enough for him. That's what he's saying for real. And if you feel like it's a problem or I'm being uptight and I'm supposed to be in their face to... Girl, get out of here. Get out of here. You chose the wrong one to come to the club with, because I'm here to dance for me. Dance for me. And if I want to twerk a little something, then I'd say let's go. But that's not what's going down. I'm here listening, vibing to the music. Like, I came here for you so we can vibe. Not care about people getting upset because we not on their skin, on their body. Like, they ain't got nothing to do with me, you know? So, since that's my people, I'm just going to chalk it up. But even if you are out with your friends or whatever the circumstance is, and you just don't like that behavior, stand 10 toes down on why you just ain't moving the way you're moving. Don't feel peer pressured into doing something to stay in the crowd, because you don't know what people got going on. You know, you over here, you know, I'll be taking it far, but I tell y'all things because I need y'all to hear me. And I take it far like that so it can really pull on you, because some simple stuff ain't gonna pull on you, okay? But let's just say like you out with somebody, you know what I'm saying? And you don't truly know how this person get down. You know, she could easily say, or she could have been around this group and they know how she get down. You truly don't know how this person get down. You know, she in their face. They see that you hanging out with her. 9 times out of 10, you her wingman or whatever. And you just vibing. At a point in the night, we were supposed to go to a different bar, and I was supposed to be just riding with them. And that's what I'm telling y'all this to say this. So what if we all did get in the car? Matter of fact, this happened to me in high school. And I had to fall out with, not fall out. I was done. I was done with her. And she tried to start rumors about me and stuff. F you, girl. If you ever see this, F you. Real time, real talk. I'm going to just say this one. But it was this one time where I was kicking it with an associate of mine. And we were supposed to match up with some guys that we knew from high school or whatever. So, yeah, like, we meet up with them. And, she was messing with the one dude. So then she told me to get in the back seat. He about to get in the car. We about to match up with him. I said, all right, I get in the back seat or whatever. He get in the car. She tried downplaying me and stuff. I'm just like, okay, you being corny. So then all of a sudden, some other dude get in the car. And, you know, I just be knowing, because it's like how he came in the car. He kind of looked me up and down. I looked him up and down like, what's up? Who is this? I knew who he was. We went to school together too, but I never spoke to him before. I seen him around, but I don't know him like that. And so then, he talking to me, and basically he slipped out and said like, yeah, like, because my boy said, your homegirl said that you here for me. I said, I don't even know you. Like, I don't know why they said that. I'm here matching with y'all. That's all we doing, right? And so then she just like, girl, stop being a lame. Like, he cute and stuff like that. And they doing their business up there. They want like doing their business. But damn near, y'all need a whole nother car, because y'all all up in the sheets, fogging up the windows. Y'all was doing too much in the front seat. Okay, and he thought he was about to get that action too. I said, boy, I don't know you. I said, hey, take me home or I'll walk home. She told me I could walk home. I said, bet. I called my mama and talked to her all the way home. Don't play with me. He told him, like, it was just too much going on. And sometimes things go down like that. To this day, I seen him recently up at the depot. Well, not recently, but I seen him this year. He's like, dang, long time no see. You still mad at me after all these years? I'm like, I ain't mad at you. But you took me back. Like, you took me back. He was like, yeah, your ass don't be playing, and I don't. Because it's just like, in situations like that, and that's maybe where that uptightness is coming from. But it's just like, don't do that. Like, if we here with your dude and that's what y'all on, you could have just did that. But see, some people weird. Like, I don't even want to get into that, because I ain't even trying to do all that. But you just got to be careful who you rock with. Because people really would set you up. Because she could have been texting that, telling them like, oh yeah, I got a friend, she ready to, whatever y'all on. And what if dude would have raped me or something? What if he told me to shut the F up, knocked me out, and took it from me? I got a friend that happened to too. Somebody just took it from her. Somebody drugged her and just took it. She effed up about that to this day. Like, you got to be careful who you hang around with. And this dude is somebody she went to work with. Thinking that they just, we drink after work all the time after we get off. But that one particular night, they drunk and she woke up the next morning in his bed naked. So yeah, you need to be careful who you rocking with. Because people be snakes in your garden. Just to get whatever they need to get out. The wrong opportunities can cause you to abandon the foundation that you're building. Like what I just said. Dude had an opportunity to get close to my friend. And she thinking like, oh, I'm getting close. Or even in the position that she stands in her life. She not thinking like, oh, it's not like that. He got more respect for me. He ain't have no respect for you. You don't know what people got going on in their mind and what they doing and how, if they pretending or whatever. You don't know what people got going on in their mind. You don't know what people gonna set you up for. In that situation, she could have she ain't never tell me that a friend was coming. She ain't never say that. She said we was pulling up on her dude to have a session. Then all of a sudden, this dude just come in the car like, yeah, I heard you was for me. I heard you was waiting for me. Like, boy, bye. You gonna be waiting a little while longer, because it ain't me, boo. It ain't me that I'm here for. I'm not here for you. I'm here for what I was told. But at the same time, yeah. We fell out after that. Talking about you just can't be cool. No. You couldn't have told me that. But there you go. People already know what they be doing. I knew you wasn't going to be down for it if I told you. So you set me up. All right. Be careful out here. But finally, viewer question of the week. Are you waiting on God or permission to believe what God has for you is real? I felt bad for Hagar because, you know, she was just brought into this situation. She was just brought into the situation. Like, you know, she probably seen how they were connected and close. But for whatever reason, you know, Sarai told her, like, hey, maybe you should get with Abram. And she took that bait. And they made a baby together. But eventually, Abraham and Sarah got together. Eventually, Sarah didn't appreciate the treatment Hagar was doing with Abraham. She didn't like the fact that that Hagar wanted to be rubbing on his shoulders and catering to him and all this other stuff, knowing how she felt, knowing, like, I don't even know if they really said it, but they kept calling her his wife. So it's like, it was already there, you know. The connection was already there. And even him telling Sarah, like, you know who you are in my life. If you feel like your toes are being stepped on, let her know that. And I feel bad because it's just like, you know, she felt a little abandoned. She didn't know where to turn to, especially when Sarah did tell her, like, you gotta go. Like, I don't need you to do that for my man. I got it. You know? And people could have told, and she could have searched for that validation, for real. Hagar could have went to the next person and be like, can you believe that Abraham gonna tell Sarah that I can't be over there, that I can't be doing this and I can't be doing that? And people hyping her up, saying like, yeah, you don't deserve that, or girl, go get your man back, or I don't know. But instead, she went to God, and God told her, like, you are not alone. You got me, so walk with me. And like I told y'all a long time ago in the podcast, you know, it's all how you treat that. Because at the end of the day, like even in my position, okay? People told me, like, I wasted my time. People told me that, you know, I'm never gonna find nobody and all this other stuff. And all of that is projection. You don't know who gonna be in my life. You don't know who, what, when, where, or why. You don't. So I'm not gonna take that. Okay, if you don't want that for yourself, then that's fine. But also, I feel like a lot of people don't want it because you went personally searching out, talking to John, Lee John, Marcus, I don't know. Y'all went and tried to find somebody for yourselves, and on and on and on and on and on. It just don't work out. Oh, I ain't never gonna get married because these niggas ain't shit. No. You not gonna get married to the guys you keep choosing because you rushing into it. Automatically, you having sex and you claiming his as yours. But it's just like, do you even know what he got going on for real? Have you ever seen what his life is carrying for real? Why you over here talking about some marriage? Is that really your husband though? Like, some of these dudes don't even be that. Like, how does this person even make you feel besides in the bedroom? Can you talk to him about certain things? If you're already a mother, would you truly trust this man to stay by himself in the house with your kids? And I'm being so real with this. Y'all know I be saying things that's crazy and out of pocket sometimes, but I'm being serious. And I'm not talking about on the sense of you letting him stay there because, like, you know, that type of thing where it's just like, oh yeah, I let him stay at my house while I'm at work so he can be there when I come back home type of thing. Or, oh, I let him stay there with the kids so, you know, like kind of like leashing him a little bit, you know, keeping him on a leash. Or I let him move in because he going through it with so-and-so and he said he needed a place to stay. So I let him stay here to show him how loyal I am, how down I am for him. Yeah, because once he move in here, shoot, I'm going to be putting it on him. He ain't going to never want to leave. And then when he really bring his bags in here, now you really hyped up. But that don't mean nothing, girl. That don't mean nothing. That man will still go and cheat on you. Yeah, I'm going to the bar. You don't know, after he left that bar, it was a photo shoot. And I get some in the first seat. Oh, wait, that's Freaky Girl. But still, it was on some Gucci. You feel me? Let me turn back on this thing because I'm sweating now. But, I'm just saying, like, things like that. You rushing into things like that, but you not really, like, taking time to do you, find yourself, love on you, take yourself on a date, buy yourself some flowers, do for you. So when the person that's supposed to be in your life, that you're not forcing, it just happens. When that person finally comes into your life, he gonna see you, she gonna see you, and they gonna know exactly how they can fit in. And you don't need validation from anybody because you're gonna know how it feels. Especially if you take the time to get to know yourself, you're gonna know exactly how that feels. Because you ain't gotta ask for validation when you love on you. When you love on you, it feels good automatically, right? When you go and get your nails done, flat out, how do you feel? Me, I know I be pointing at, I don't even know, I be like, girl, snatch in the air. Snatch in the air. Okay? I be wanting to just hold on things. I be like, yep. You know? And that's what I be liking the long nails for, just to be feeling good, feeling pretty, feeling like a baddie, you know? Taking myself out to dinner sometimes, you know, feeling good about it. Gaining the confidence to say, hey, I'm here by myself. Like, even this one time I went to the bar by myself and this girl was like, are you okay? Are you waiting for somebody? I was like, oh no, I'm just here by myself, about to order. Now, she made it awkward for me because she kept coming back to me and asking me, like, are you sure you're okay? You don't want to take this to go? And that's because it was me, her, and some dude, and he was fine. But I think he was, like, by himself, too. I don't know. She was trying to chop him down, but that ain't had nothing to do with me. That probably made her feel uncomfortable because it's just like, who just goes somewhere by themselves. But that's how I kind of felt a little bit when I used to think about it. Like, I need somebody to talk to. Like, no, I don't. I want to just go out and be out. You know, if I happen to meet somebody out, then that's cool. But it's just like, you know. And I feel like, too, with the person that you're supposed to be with anyways, you're not going to feel the way that girl was coming at me. Like, her chopping him down, he wasn't giving that energy. You know what I'm saying? He kind of was looking at her like, you talking to me or you talking to her type of thing. So it's just like, girl, you worrying about the wrong thing. Chop this man down. Don't worry about what I'm doing. But it's just like, when a person's really for you, it feels natural. Like, it just feels natural. I don't have to feel offended. You know? If he look at a girl, as long as he not disrespectful, you know, like, say if he seen somebody like, oh, she gorgeous, I can easily say like, oh yeah, she is. But when I'm in a relationship where I know that maybe said person has a wandering eye, or he's not, you know, whatever, yeah, I'm gonna feel less confident. Like, I remember I was out with a person I was with, and I'm talking to him. We talking, flirting at the table. And while I'm talking, he purposely doing all this, and a girl walked by, and he like, yeah, you know, I heard you. You know, and da-da-da-da. And we was out with somebody else, and she seen my face. And she stopped talking to her dude at the time. And she was just like, you're disrespectful. And he was like, what did I do? And she was like, you know what you're doing. Like, I just think it's disrespectful that you looking at everybody but the person that you sitting at the table with. And, you know, a whole conversation came out of that. But it's just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would just know when you're with the right person. But until then, you don't need to search for him. That relationship I searched for. And come to find out that was not my person. And that's fine. But before you go through it, you're going to go through trials. You're going to go through tribulations and all that other stuff. Because you know what? You need to stop seeking validations and focus on yourself and a disciplined life. Next, you need to recognize the influence on family. Okay? Are people really giving you good advice, or are they projecting on you? You know? And no shade. It's just real. I kind of would not ask a single person relationship advice when my mind is on getting married. And then I wouldn't just ask any married couple. I would really dissect their relationship, you know? Because I know some people that's been together for years, but he don't let his wife talk, to the point where she just sits there silent, and if she does talk, she agrees with him. I don't like that. Because if my husband is wrong, I would want him to hear my side of it. I wouldn't want him just for me to agree with him. I'm not no puppet. Sometimes you're wrong, Freddie. Sometimes you're wrong, Freddie. Like, and you just gonna have to take that. You know, you don't want nobody that just wants you to do what they say all the time. Like you ain't got no mind. I don't even think men would want that. You with no mind, you don't have your own thoughts, opinions. Nah. But you gotta realize, you know, what are people even telling you, you know? Next, treat your money as a tool to build stability in your life. Manage and plan. Keep your wisdom, values, and accountability that you learned in your life, and you know, take them to the next lessons in your life, and show perseverance to the next generation. And basically, like, even in hard times, display what it looks like, you know. Again, like I said, I was talking to my son, and he asked me, like, when are you gonna get a boyfriend, you know, because this little boy wants siblings. And I'd be like, you need to calm down. I'm like, boy, he asked me that, like, well, when are you? But I'm just like, baby, I don't want to just get with anybody, you know, just because you want a brother or a sister. Like, you know, I want you to actually see me go through something. Like, when it get there, it's gonna get there, you know. But it's not in the cards for me right now. Like, it's not where I'm at. And then plus, you know, even if I did have a friend or whatever, it's gonna still take time. Like, that's why I want you to worry about living your life and doing you. Like, you ain't gotta jump into a relationship. Life ain't about just being somebody's boyfriend and somebody's girlfriend. Like, I truly want him to understand that what did I tell him? Just worry about you, because once that chapter is over, it's over. Once you want a long time, your girlfriend may not want you to have a long time. She gonna be like, you need to be alone with me, baby. I am the alone time. And if you truly love that person, you gonna have to understand that. You gonna have to make time. She wanna go on a date, you need to be preparing a date for y'all. Sometimes tell her, hey, I want you to surprise me too. Find somebody that's willing to do that. You know, make a friend first. Don't worry about all that other stuff. That's not important. But, you know, I want to take my time. However anybody else want to live their life, they living their life, and I pray for good for them. But me, my time hasn't came yet for that. Mommy's still just chilling, getting to know herself, loving on herself. And he's like, okay, but yeah. He ain't gonna be saying that if I get pregnant, and he gonna be hearing babies crying and stuff. But yeah, let's finish this up. I used to think I need the answer now so I can finally know that everything is going to be okay. But now I know I need to know everything God is doing. Now I know that I don't need to know everything God is doing. I need to faithfully do what He has already placed in front of me. And that's real. What He placed in front of me was an opportunity for me to be in my solitude, me to get to know myself, and, you know, have that mental space to prepare myself, you know, because the old me would have probably found somebody, you know. But since I'm in a position now, especially having my son, and especially him being a man, I don't want to be that example, you know. I don't want to just have some random dude in my house eating up his snacks and playing with his Xbox. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, if somebody got that going on, I mean, hey, no shade to you, but it's just like, for real. Because even with him asking me that, he think that's how life's supposed to go. When you gonna get a boyfriend? Boy, don't worry about when I'm gonna get a boyfriend. That ain't even on my mind. But I know he just wants to experience and see for himself what it would be like having a brother or a sister. So, you know, I just want to be that example for him. That female example of, it's okay to take your time. You know, on my end, I can't speak for nobody else, but on my end as his mother, the first role model in his life, or, you know, not the first, but one of, should I say. I want him to remember, like, even if he cracks jokes, like, my mama wasn't pulling nothing. My mama wasn't pulling nothing, okay? She was lonely, used to be in her room, journaling, playing The Sims, cooking with me, making smoothies, bonding with me, taking me places, having fun, da-da-da-da-dun. But then when she finally got into a relationship, it was smooth. I don't know, but that's what I want for him to know. So then he got another example when he grew up and think to himself, like, do I want to be in a relationship right now, or do I want to take my time to get to know myself? I want him to think about things like that. Because even if he do slip or whatever in the future, you know, I still want him to be a good man. And remember good examples. Don't rush to receive what you haven't finished preparing to carry. Remember this, God doesn't want you to rush towards the promise. Be faithful with the preparation. And the challenge I have for you guys is, instead on waiting, act on what you already know. God has given you guidance. It's time to do it. So choose that one thing and act on it without validation. And again, it's really me, is building. You know, it's been building. It's been me trying to get my life together for the sake of myself. You know, we need to stop being so, we need to stop getting into our phones and this social media stuff and all this bull. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's time to actually focus on you. It's time to build things for you. And you need to realize, like, you know, can't nobody do me like me. You know? And if you don't know yourself, you need to get to know yourself. You need to understand who you are. And there's nothing cliche about it. There's nothing corny about it. This is you. You the only person that you are with all the time. Like, so you might as well get to know yourself. You might as well see what you like, what you don't like, and all this other stuff. You need to sit your hot pocket down. You need to put the pole down and get to just know you. Resist sex for a minute. Because resisting sex for me has shown me who I am when I crave for it. And I don't like that side of me. Even if you do get invited out with a guy, and let's say he tests the waters a little bit. They're going to test the waters. And, you know, you so much in that type of feeling, you over here kind of like thinking about it. You kind of thinking about it like, oh, maybe one time ain't gonna hurt. Yeah, no. One time could still put you in your feelings. Have your head going. Intimacy is very, 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 very hard to get out of. When you have an intimate moment with somebody, it's very hard to detach, because, like I feel like I said before, I understand now why you need to wait before marriage, because when you do something intimate with somebody, you're going to want to go do that again. And yes, it feels better to do it with somebody that you're feeling secure about. But even if you're secure with this dude, is he secure with you? Do you guys have something that's solid enough where you know both of you guys aren't going to go nowhere? He's only here for you. He only craves you. He only desires you. Do you truly have something like that in your life to sit there and say, yes, I'm willing to give up my body, my mouth, my whatever to be with this person. I trust that he's not going behind my back and doing it with this person, not knowing who that person, how many sex partners or people they having sex with too. It's a very sticky situation, and it's hard to get out of your feelings when you already feel that type of way, especially when you don't want to feel that type of way. And then now you got this person looking at you like, dang, you are really in your feelings. Like, you shouldn't even be with nobody that makes you feel bad for being in your feelings, especially when you like them. If they make you feel bad, not like hurt your feelings, but to the point where it's like, it wasn't even like that. You know, we was having fun. You only taking it personal because that's pulling on your heart, especially as a woman. We were not designed to just be out here flinging with people. That's even what it say in the Bible. He sent Adam out there to go name the animals and go do whatever he goes to do or whatever. And eventually Adam realized for himself, ain't nobody out here for me. Ain't nobody out here for me, until God put him to sleep and then took his rib and made Eve. You feel what I'm saying? He ain't go out and eventually double back to the giraffes and stuff and said, you know what, I'm gonna just rock with this giraffe. Like, no. Eventually, after he went out and went out searching, went out looking, he finally received. And we are the receivers. We receive that seed, and what do we make? A baby with it. We are receivers. So if you over here just having sex and all that other stuff, you receiving all these feelings. You know what I'm saying? You receiving all these feelings and da-da-da-da-da. But in result, now you're in your feelings. You're in your feelings. You want to pursue more. But if he's not there with you, it's not going to work out. It's not going to fall how you want it to fall. And no offense to the women, again, that got on their knees and proposed to a man. But my thing is, why it's looked down upon is because that position is for the man, because that is his choice. That is his choice. When Chrissy when Chrissy went on her knee and asked Jim Jones to marry her, it was for the fact that if Jimmy ain't over here doing that for yourself, then you as the woman need to realize that is just not what he wants, and you cannot force his hand. Yeah, he can feel special and all this other stuff and see that you love him that much, but that don't change. That's not gonna change his mind. The ring means something different when it's coming from him, because you are the receiver. You are the receiver. You receive his last name. You receive all of that. He is supposed to be a leader. He is the first person that God put on this earth and gave him direction. He did not give us direction. He gave Eve to Adam and introduced Adam to Eve. And with this, Eve is supposed to trust his discernment. You're supposed to let your man lead and trust his discernment. If you can't trust this man, that's not the man for you. If you can't trust that he's going to take you places and send you in the right spots in your life, this man is not for you. He's going to lead you astray, or he ain't going to lead you no damn where. And you just going to be out here lost with new baggage, feeling some type of way. But no, when you get in position like that, you gotta now put yourself in position to just trust that God is gonna send you where you're supposed to go. And that's it. It can take 10 months, 10 years, 10 days. But either way it go, you just gotta wait. And while you wait, you do you. By yourself. Surrounded by people that you care about. Building relationships. Trimming your grass a little bit. But don't rush into things, because God loves you no matter what you think. He has a plan for you. He did not neglect you. You were a promise to your parents. And if you truly have faith in God, he's going to lead you to exactly where you thought you would never even be. I was just watching the NBA YoungBoy interview last night. And he sat there and said, like, I ain't do nothing but just continue to believe in myself. You know, ain't nobody help me or do this. This boy ain't never even have a 9 to 5, ain't never did no applications or nothing. He just stuck to what he believed in. He stuck to what God put in his mind. And eventually he got where he's positioned at. So I'm just telling you guys, you know, whatever it is that you know that you need to be acting on, but you feel like, should I ask for approval? Should I ask for validation to make sure I'm not gonna look silly? Look silly. Stop caring so much about what other people think, because it wasn't given to them. They not gonna know. They gonna think it's silly because it was never given to them. It was given to you. And at the end of the day, regardless if somebody believe it or not, you taking somebody else's word for me. You don't know if somebody hating on you. They can see it in you themselves. And they gonna sit there and say, no, I don't believe you're ever gonna have a husband. That's because they don't believe it. But that has nothing to do with you. That's how they feel about themselves. You don't even know this person got low self-esteem. This person fuck every nigga that she, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what people got going on for them to even give you the answers that they give you. That's why you gotta have discernment. And also, that's why you gotta really, and I'm learning it too, because I get excited, but I'm learning that a lot of people don't be happy for you. So when you try to like tell people about things, they like the, you know, shit on your parade. And it's just like, I don't need this, you know, because I'm happy about it. I feel it in my gut. But that's just a lesson I had to learn. And even now, since I'm standing 10 toes down on the faith that I have, I hear it all the time. You seem silly, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But people don't also realize what I witnessed for myself to stand in the faith that I have, you know. And that pessimistic thought, action, or whatever is going to forever keep people where they're at and keep them delaying their self from the promise. Not stop, but it will be delayed. So you got to believe in what is already told to you. And I want you to go actually act on it this week. But I'm out of here, y'all. Like I said, I got to go to church, honey. So I'll see y'all later. I'm out. Peace.